Hey there, my scrappy friends. Happy International Scrapbooking Day and also Happy Mother's Day. In Spain, we celebrated today. In Malta, for example, we celebrated in a week. I know that in the UK it was, or it is today. I'm not very sure. So I have a very quick tutorial for you today on how to make this flower explosion Mother's Day card. It's not an original idea. If you scan YouTube, you're gonna see hundreds of people doing the same thing. But as I did this for my mom, I thought I would just film it and show you how I did it. So I started with a 30 by 30 centimeter sheet of paper, and I cut it out into little squares of 10 by 10. Actually, I think that for this card, I cut the squares 9 by 9. I used my, how do you call it, bending tool? My scoring tool, to score the squares in half twice, diagonally. And what I'm doing now is I'm folding the squares. So first you fold up in a triangle, then you fold to the left, and then you fold to the left again. You fold it 3 times, always folding it towards the left. And I'm using my scoring tool there to press harder. And now you have to find a circular object to do this petal shape that we need. So I did the first one using the cap of an ink bottle that I had, and then I traced this same shape once I cut it out on top of the other triangles. I have 7 triangles. You need 7 of these, and I'm gonna cut them out. And when you open them up, you will end up with a pretty flower. So this is the first step to making our card. I'm not a card making person, I have to admit. I really struggle with card making, but I found this tutorial on YouTube and I thought it was really sweet, really pretty. So I decided to do it. So next thing you have to do is you have to cut out one of the petals from each of the flowers with a pair of scissors, making sure that you get right to the center. And once you do that, you're gonna need some liquid glue. You are going to put a bit of glue in one of those petals, the one on the edge where we cut off the petal in the middle, and we're going to put the other petal on top of it and close our flowers. My daughter was doing exactly the same thing, and here she is showing us her pretty flowers. She was decorating them with pencil colors. Yeah, she wanted to decorate them. I'll do that later. So I'm using my scoring tool again to make sure that the flowers are very well folded. To make this card work, for the mechanism to work, they need to be folded really well. So then we don't have a hard time opening and closing the card. So I'm bending all those folds really well. And now comes the hard part. I tried to slow down this video as much as I could so you can follow step by step how it's done. In other videos that I saw, people have a different technique of doing this. I can say the one that I'm showing you works. I mean, you're gonna see that it works. But I have seen people putting glue in different places and it still works. So up to you. Here I'm just cutting out, there was a little bit of paper coming out of the flower and I decided to cut it out. So here comes the hard part, and I'm gonna explain exactly where you have to put the glue. You're gonna see me use a pencil and mark a cross on the spots where the glue goes. So we're gonna put glue on the first and on the last petal, just a little bit. Don't go overboard with this. And taking 2 flowers, we're gonna paste one on top. The last petal goes over that petal that we glued, and at the bottom we do exactly the same, leaving the one in the middle empty. Then you take your glue again, and you're gonna want to put glue now on the second and on the third petal, like so. Actually, it's the third and the fourth. I am very sorry. Third and fourth. And we're going to paste our flower with the first and second petal on top of the glue, and the last petal is there, but there's no glue under it. so it can move. Now we're going to put glue on the second, on the third, on the fifth, and on the sixth petal. And we're going to use another 2 flowers and stick those right on top. So the first petal of our flowers is going to be there, but there's not going to be any glue there. We stick it right on top. We have 1 flower left, and we're going to put on the third, fourth, and fifth petal a little bit of glue. And stick the last flower. And the mechanism is done. I suggest you give this some time so it dries really well. It needs to be stuck really tightly. But the mechanism is basically done. Now you're going to want to take your card and your flower mechanism, and we're going to put a little bit of glue on both sides. The glue has to go on the 4th petal. Wherever you start counting from, it's going to be the 4th petal, the one in the middle. Put quite a bit of glue there because it needs to be well stuck down. And make sure that it is right in the middle and that the card can open and close easily. Do the same on the other side and forget about your card for a bit because it needs to dry really, really well. And this is the result. You open the card and you get an explosion of flowers. Isn't that pretty? So it's not a card that opens flat like a book. It opens 3/4 of the way. Then what I did was I used a bit of watercolor to decorate inside the flowers a little bit. A lot of people do this before. Once you have the flowers, you decorate the flowers, and a lot of tutorials on YouTube, that's how they do it. As I was using pattern paper for this, I wasn't really sure I would have to need to do this, but I decided to do it anyway. Here's the finished card. I think I did continue decorating a little bit after this, but yeah, pretty much the finished product. As I said, I'm not a big fan of card making. I try, but it's not my thing, I have to say. So I had the Chimel stickers from her notebook from the last collection, and it had these clear stickers with the foliage. It's what I used to decorate around the flower. And I think the result is pretty. I'm sorry I'm a bit late for the scrapbooking weekend and Mother's Day thing. My dog is very, very sick right now, and I had a really awful week taking care of her, and I'm literally trying to save her life right now. She's very, very sick, so I couldn't post anything before this. Hope you liked this video today, and rest assured that I'll be back with more. Bye!